welcome to another episode of What Am I Drinking with Andrew Azzopardi. I'm sure you're wondering why I've got a bunch of raisins in front of me. That's because we're going to speak about a method of making wine using raisin grapes, using grapes that have been dried out, and that is known as the appassitmento method. And the very well-known wine that is made in the appassitmento method is actually Amarone di Valpolicella from Veneto in Italy. Most people have heard of Amarone and know what a powerful wine it is. And it's interesting to know that the actual power of the wine and the high alcohol content of the wine is due to the raisined grapes, due to the drying out of the grapes. What happens is we reduce the water content in the grape, therefore the sugar level in the grape increases, and therefore the alcohol increases as well. It also increases the power, the aromas, the flavors in the grape, and that is why Amarone and Amarone style type of wines are so powerful and so rich. However, unlike Amarone, which is a minimum of 14% alcohol and aged over 2 years in oak, we've got our own version of Amarone in Malta, and that is Primus, made by Marsovin. It's made in a really similar method. The difference is that actually Amarone is air dried, so what they do is they pick the grapes in September, they put them on big large trays in a well ventilated room and leave them to dry for a length of time, usually around 2 months, with a lot of air, wind passing through so that the grapes don't get moldy. On the other hand, in Malta, having such a lot of heat and sun in Malta, what Primus do, what Marsovin do, is they actually sun dry the grapes for a much less time. So they only leave the grapes in crates for around 2 weeks in September. And the weather in September is around 25 to 35 degrees approximately. So within 2 weeks, the grapes easily dry up, and we call that in Malta imqaddet, like tadam imqaddet, basically, sun-dried. And the same thing happens to the grape, and it gets totally raisined up, and it increases the sugar content, the power of the wine, the richness, the aromas, and the flavors, in the same way that's done with Amarone. Another difference is actually the minimum alcohol content in Malta is 13.5%. But having said that, this particular bottle is 15% alcohol, so it's wow, super powerful. Also in Amarone, the minimum aging requirement is 2 years, whereas here in Malta, the Marsovin wine Primus is aged for about 1 year in French oak barriques. The grapes. So what grapes do we use in Malta for the Primus, for this premium wine? Marsovin used the indigenous grape Gellewza, which actually means hazelnut in English, and that's an indigenous grape in Malta. So it's quite a small grape, relatively light-skinned when you think about it for such a warm country, and that's blended with Shiraz or known as Syrah in France. So Shiraz and Syrah are actually the same grape, but Shiraz is maybe more New World and maybe has more of a spicy character to it. And this is a blend of those two grapes, which are both sun-dried here in Malta in crates, somewhere in the sun for around 2 weeks. What's interesting about this is actually Gellewza lends more of a cherry flavor, and the Shiraz, the blend of Shiraz, lends more of a spiciness to it. So together, it should create quite a harmonious, lovely blend of wine. Primus actually, I think, the name stems from premium, and it is one of the first premium wines in Malta, and in the industry I come from, which is selling fine wines to super yachts, it is actually the first Maltese wine that we've sold to foreign high net worth individuals that actually request it. And the funny thing is, one of my very, very good clients is a huge fan of Amarone, and he buys some of the most expensive Amarones that there are around, and Primus as well. So that's definitely a chapeau to the local Maltese guys at Marsovin for that. So let's try the wine. As expected, it's quite a deep, rich color. Beautiful color, actually. This is the 2017 vintage, so it's still very, very young. I've decanted it for over an hour because I think it needs to breathe quite a bit, especially being such a powerful and young wine. On the nose, immediately you get those dried fruit aromas. It's not too intense on the nose, it's quite soft on the nose considering. In the mouth, it's very, very, very well balanced. The tannins are there, but they're extremely well integrated. For a 2017 vintage, I'm actually surprised on how soft the tannins are, especially on just aging this for 1 year in French oak barrels. The acidity is medium, which is expected, being such a southern made wine. In Malta, we don't have the altitude to make very, very high acid wine, so it's a medium acidity. I definitely get the Amarone cherry flavors, lovely cherry strawberry flavors, which come from the Gellewza, so that is the Gellewza influence coming in from it. But then I also get the Shiraz flavors, and that's the spiciness, the sweet spice to it. There's something very sweet about it, like cinnamon and nutmeg, baking spices maybe. It lends a bit of sweetness to the wine. The length is really good, and that's a sign of high quality. So I would definitely consider this a high quality wine, a premium wine. The value of this wine, the price of this wine is between the 25 to 35 euro mark, somewhere around there. It's got lovely length, lovely structure, very, very well balanced. I think it's a great wine actually. Super beautiful label. So I think it's one of those wines that can compete on the international level, and I would be very happy to pair this with a powerful dish such as lamb maybe, or beef. Slow cooked meats I think would do well with this. It's got a lovely richness to it, something a bit savory as well to it. Nice. Guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can check out my website www.andrewazzopardi.net, or you can check out the business website www.number12wines.com. Cheers!